Even though this second generation HomePod does some really weird decisions, it gets improvement in sound and new smart home features and a lot more that I'm sure you're going to like. The HomePod is back. This is my review of the second generation HomePod. The design looks pretty much the same as the first generation. It feels like Apple grabbed the HomePod mini and the first gen HomePod and just merged them together. The HomePod is still wrapped in a beautiful seamless mesh fabric that looks gorgeous in any house, and it was actually designed for acoustic performance. The touch surface now looks exactly the same as the HomePod mini because it now goes edge to edge, which looks beautiful. Alright, here's a closer look on the actual design. It looks very much the same as the first generation. Small change is that on the bottom, it actually is flat, so that's different. The actual screen is now like underneath the actual mesh, so same as the HomePod mini. And as I said, the cable, let me show you how it actually works. You just pull it, see, and it's now gone. You can just put it back in. You can just put it back in just like that. But other than that, it looks exactly the same. Having an actual touch surface on an actual smart speaker is honestly a must, and especially on the HomePod, it looks so beautiful and the colors look so vivid. The new HomePod also offers improvements in sound with richer bass and clearer highs. Now, is the sound quality noticeable than comparing it to the first generation HomePod? I'm gonna say yes, it definitely is noticeable. I'm gonna say it's not as big of a jump like we saw on the AirPods Pro and the AirPods Pro 2, but it definitely is noticeable. And with the addition of spatial audio, it truly provides an experience that it feels like the artist is actually singing right in front of you. I really wish there was a real way to show you how loud, how crisp the new HomePod actually sounds. I mean, it sounds so loud, so crisp. It feels like with spatial audio, it seriously sounds so much better.
I can tell you my problems, meditating my silence.
Now, if you want the full HomePod experience, you have to pick up another HomePod. Having that stereo sound hooked up to your Apple TV, it creates such a wider and more immersive experience. I mean, watching movies in your couch with those two stereo HomePod, it basically transforms your experience to a whole other level. They sound so good together. Here's the thing though. Here's the thing that just really upsets me and gets me confused on why Apple did this. If you have an original HomePod and you're like, oh, I'm gonna pick up a new HomePod like this, I can put them in stereo. Well, no, you cannot do that. The first generation HomePod is not compatible with the second gen in stereo. You can of course play them with AirPlay, which I'm gonna tell you in just a second, but you can't put them in stereo. Now, definitely one of my favorite things about having HomePods all around my house in every single room is that I've actually got multi-room audio, which means I can play the same song everywhere at the same time in my house. So the same song will play at the bathroom, in my kitchen, in my living room. Something else that makes a HomePod is proximity controls. Let's say, I'm listening to a song on my iPhone. I can simply do like this. With proximity controls, it will actually play it directly to the HomePod. All right, let me show you how the proximity control actually works. So it's literally just doing like that, and it's as easy as that. It is now playing it on the HomePod. I can actually turn the volume from here as well. It's that simple. Now, of course, you know me. The reason that I love my HomePods is because of HomeKit.
The longer I've waited, the more that I've tried.
The HomePod is the heart of my smart home. You've seen my apartment tour. My entire home is smart. Every single light, curtain, blind, sensor, door lock, alarm is smart. Now, having a reliable smart speaker is key. And that's why Apple has improved the chip of the HomePod, which is now the S7, which improves the speed of the whole experience. Now, if you love HomeKit, if you love the smart home, you are going to love all the new features added to the HomePod. The first one is temperature and humidity sensing. Now I've personally got like this Eve temperature sensor that I love it because you can actually create automations that if the temperature reaches like 30 degrees, the blinds can go off and the temperature rises to 40 degrees. But here's the thing, the HomePod actually has that already in it. So it actually already measures the temperature and the humidity of your home. That is insane that the speaker is now having smart home features. I really like where Apple is going, and if Apple just keeps adding sensors, just a bunch of features on it, it just gets me so excited for the future of the HomePod. Something else that's brand new on the HomePod is that you can now create automations with Siri directly on your HomePod. Now this is something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do, for example, Siri, open the blinds at 8 a.m. every single morning. So every single morning, the blinds will automatically go up. Now, of course, you could previously do that with the Home app on your iPhone, but it's so useful that you can now do it directly with Siri without needing to mess around with your phone. Something else that's awesome and new is that Siri now has a new confirmation tone, which is awesome. Before, let's say I was watching a movie and I was like, Siri, turn off the lights. Siri was like, while I was watching the movie, the audio of the movie went down, and then Siri was like, okay, hold on, okay, turning off your lights. So I had to rewind the movie because Siri was talking to me, and I'm like, Siri, just turn off the lights, because sometimes, you know, maybe your Wi-Fi is not the best. Now, Siri actually has this confirmation tone. Something else that the big HomePod has adopted from the HomePod mini is that it now connects to your smart devices, making the HomePod a home hub. So you can basically access to your entire HomeKit accessories when you're not home. Now there's a lot of criticism with Siri. If you want my opinion, Siri always does what I want it to do, and I find it extremely useful, and especially on the HomePod, there's so many ways that I actually use Siri. For example, I always tell Siri, where's my phone? And then Siri will actually ping my iPhone. I ask Siri for the weather. I ask Siri for timers whenever I'm cooking. I ask Siri if I like a song that Siri's actually playing me. I ask Siri, add that song to my Fresh Lemonade playlist. Now there's still some things that really bug me about the HomePod. The first one being the white color. It looks beautiful and it gets dirty. I don't mind that it's white and that it gets dirty. It's obviously a HomePod. But Apple doesn't really give us a real way to actually clean our HomePods. Now, I've actually made a video on how to clean your HomePod. Links in the description if you want to check it out. But it's not an easy way. I mean, you really have to like buy stuff for it. Now, the price tag. The price tag, it doesn't upset me because it's $299, and that's a really good price for a smart speaker that's actually a really good audio system. There's not a lot of smart speakers that are actually smart speakers and actually really good sounding systems. So for $299, it's actually a pretty expensive but pretty decent price for, especially, it has value, I'll say that. But I'd say $250 would have been a sweet spot for a lot more people. Now, the thing that bugs me the most, and the thing that I totally disagree on Apple doing, is not making the first generation compatible with the second one in stereo. I get why Apple is doing it because it's not exactly the same, because it has different drivers. I mean, I get all that, but Apple, I mean, if you're the company that's making the iPhone, the Mac, the iPad, these most revolutionary products in the world, you are telling me that you can't make the two HomePods work in stereo? Now, the HomePod was already the best smart sounding speaker in the entire industry. So now Apple improving that sound quality and adding new smart home features, it makes it such an easy recommendation for anybody that is interested on a smart speaker.
I can tell you my problems, meditating my silence, but I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, I know craft low dollar. Used to be left on